really find myself living in the moment. I'm really not, I don't intellectualize my parts unless I absolutely have to. But I'm like a first take person. That's really where my juices flow. And after that, you find yourself by the third or fifth take kind of thinking, geez, my eyes are looking at that music and it's sending impulses down in my ears. And then you're going, oh crap, did we play the bridge yet? So I'm really spontaneous. You know, I try to rehearse my spontaneity as much as possible.
Right, sure.
But, you know, even when we play live, I try never to play the same thing twice. Each moment requires a different response.
And there's something something great to hear that from you, because music at the end of the day is a creative endeavor, and there's something about the feel and emotion that goes into it. What makes you guys work, and the way that you've chose to work with each other and continue to work with each other? Talk about the collaboration between the two of you and why you continue to make music together.
I heard Judith the first time. I was working with Harry, her husband, on this project that he did at the end of the Bush administration. And we were playing at a place called Blues Alley up in Seattle. And he said, oh, my wife's going to sit in and do a couple of songs. And she sat down at the piano, and my jaw dropped. I really was not familiar with her work. I knew her as Harry's wife, but I really had no idea. When she sat down at the piano, I just kind of took my breath away, and I felt kind of an instant kinship with her, because her music was so much of all of that singer-songwriter thing, even though that's gone on ever since James Taylor. I mean, every year I work on albums with singer-songwriters, but there was something that was just really special, and as soon as we started playing together, I felt a kinship with her.
Judith?
I mean, it was just because once got to know each other, and obviously I already was a fan of Leland, and I've been plotting and scheming for a couple of years how I was actually going to hit on him musically, and then this kind of this choice, situation came my way, where I actually, I was hoping, I hope he likes me. I hope he likes me. And of course, it's perfection. I like it. And the reason it's perfection is because, as it turns out, when Leland started out and cut his teeth with James Taylor, so to speak, James is a very heavy bass hand. He's playing the bass notes on the guitar as well as everything else besides. He's remarkable.
Underrated guitarist.
Incredible. Now, I am that solo singer-songwriter all these years who, when I write a song, it is complete. It's about that. It's like the colors that you then add to it. It's like the dynamics you bring with other instruments, but it's like painting. You want to make the song greater. You want to bring everything out. You don't want to just cover it all that is there. And the really remarkable thing about Leland is that he dances, and literally it's like a duet between us, and he is dancing with melodies around my left hand. So even though I'm already playing the roots, he goes out, and there are times when he'll be taking over, because there's nothing that beats obviously the bass when it's really, that's what it's doing. But there's such a beauty. I think what's interesting about all the musicians here and all the musicians I ever worked with, including my British string players as well, is that everyone comes from a classical background. Pedro is a classical and a jazz star, and that's where they cross over. Helen Gillet, Rebecca Crenshaw. We're talking about classical people, and Helen and Rebecca are from New Orleans. Well, actually, they actually live in New Orleans and cousins from there, because Helen actually does an awful lot right here, and is a very, very truly superb cellist. Does a lot of work here in Chicago. And but we come from that same sensibility, where we know that what we're doing is we are making truly a miniature orchestra. We are like a tiny orchestra that are creating these little vignettes.
Well, let's do this. Let's get an update on tonight's news. And then we come back, we'll hear a little bit of that mini orchestra that is set up right in front of us. Judith Owen is in studio with us tonight, along with legendary bass player Leland Sklar and the band as well. They're going to be playing at Space in Evanston coming up on Sunday, 7 o'clock. What we'll do is we'll take a break, we'll get tonight's news, and then we'll come back and hear some live music here on 720 WGN. So let's get an update on that news, sponsored by Gilkey Window Company. 9:31, here's Rob Martier.
Police in South Elgin are asking for for the public's help in locating 9-year-old Kayla Unbehan, who was abducted by her mother, Heather Unbehan. The two have not been heard from since July 4th. Kayla is white, between 4'2" and 4'6", with blonde hair and blue eyes. Her mother is 5'3", approximately 135 pounds, with blonde hair and green eyes. It's believed that Heather is driving a 2000 Toyota Camry with an expired Georgia license plate. Anyone with information is asked to call the South Elgin Police Department. North Korea says leader Kim Jong-un observed the country's second test of an intercontinental ballistic missile and said that the launch demonstrated an ability to conduct a surprise attack on the United States. The Korean Central News Agency said Kim expressed great satisfaction after the missile traveled 620 miles from the launch point before landing in waters near Japan. U.S. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson says Washington will never accept a nuclear-armed North Korea. And a judge has dismissed a lawsuit challenging a penny-per-ounce tax on sweetened beverages sold in Cook County. The tax originally was to take effect July 1st, but the Illinois Retail Merchants Association sued, arguing the tax is too vague. The tax will start being collected next Wednesday. The county had started issuing layoff notices citing projected revenue losses. We'll check sports, traffic, and weather next on WGN.
Everyone loves a tax break, and now leasing a new car in Illinois is a lot less taxing than it used to be. This is big news you can take to the bank. Even better, leasing your next new car allows you to afford a lot more car for a lot less money. With an automobile lease, you don't pay for the entire car. You pay only for what you use. This means lower monthly payments for the same car, or more car than you ever thought possible. That's more car for less money and lower taxes to boot. With a lease, you can get a new car every 3 or 4 years. The latest automobile technology more often. State-of-the-art safety features, outstanding fuel economy, and low maintenance costs. It all adds up. The smart money is on leasing. Your new car dealer has leasing experts who have all the details. Boost your smart money IQ. Go to drivechicago.com to learn the secret to getting a lot more car for a lot less money. It's the least you can do.
Life is so fast and sometimes stressful. Even planning a little getaway can be stressful too, right? I'm John Williams. Take a relaxing cruise down the Mississippi on the Riverboat Twilight. Brenda and I did. Depart from the Quad Cities, travel to Dubuque, spend the night at a lovely hotel, then cruise home the next day. Fares include delicious meals, overnight accommodations, shore tours. The river runs wide and relaxing. Couples, friends, families. Visit riverboattwilight.com or call 1-800-331-1467.
You've been lied to by corrupt Washington politicians and the Wall Street propaganda machine. Hi, I'm Inc. magazine best-selling author Brett Kitchen, and I want to give you a free copy of my brand new book, Wealth Beyond Wall Street, because we all know another market crash could be right around the corner. After losing 35% in my IRA in the crash years ago, I said enough, and since then I discovered a way to grow money potentially double digits, reduce taxes dramatically, and also have my money protected when the next stock market crash hits. When the next market crash hits, you lose nothing. Call Wealth Beyond Wall Street now to get your free copy and talk with a specialist to discover this little-known strategy to get potential double-digit growth during good years and never lose when the next stock market crash hits, all while building a tax-advantaged retirement. Call 1-800-648-0303 now to discover this asset that people like Walt Disney and JCPenney use to grow wealthy. Plus, get one of just 97 free books left. We even cover shipping and handling, no credit card required. Call 1-800-648-0303. 1-800-648-0303. That's 1-800-648-0303.
WGN Sports, the Cubs down to their last wraps up in Milwaukee. The Brewers have a 2-1 lead in the top of the ninth. The Cubs entered this weekend series with the Brewers, a game and a half up on the Brew Crew in the National League Central. Again, top of the ninth, the Brewers have a 2-1 lead. On the south side, the White Sox are getting shellacked by the Indians. Cleveland has an 8-2 lead in the bottom of the seventh inning. Let's take a look at the traffic situation right now. Coming in on the Edens, Lake Hook to the Kennedy Junction and back out, 16 minutes. 19 minutes in both directions on the Kennedy between O'Hare and downtown. 22 minutes over on the Eisenhower between Wolf and downtown. 19 on the flip. 21 between the Tri-State and Lakeshore Drive on the Stevenson. 18 minutes back out. And 16 in on the Dan Ryan. 95th to downtown. 15 minutes back out to 95th. For traffic on the 7s or 8s or anytime on demand, get the Traffic Chicago app approved by find Team Hochberg at Pearl Mortgage. Just search TRAFFIX Chicago. The forecast from WGN Chicago Weather Center tonight, partly cloudy, cooler with steady northeast winds, slowly declining humidity, a low of 60 inland, 66 downtown. Saturday through Sunday, sunny, clear skies Saturday night, comfortable temperatures and low humidity. Highs Saturday in the low 80s but low 70s area beaches. A low Saturday evening of 59 with some mid-50s inland. Sunday's highs 85 but mid to upper 70s along the lake. Right now 71 at O'Hare, Midway 74, Elmhurst checking in at 71. It's 70 along the lakefront. Get Chicago news first at the top of every hour. I'm Rob Martier on Chicago's very own 720 WGN.
Thanks, Rob. It's download here on 720 WGN. I'm Justin Kaufman. All right. Very excited to have in studio tonight Judith Owen, singer-songwriter. She is going to be at Space in Evanston coming up on Sunday, 7 o'clock. Also along with the legendary bass player Leland Sklar, who's in studio as well. And we're ready to hear some more music, live music with the band, which also includes Pedro Segundo, who's on percussion, Helen Gillet, who's the cellist, and Rebecca Crenshaw on violin. All right, so let's get to a song. What are we going to hear now, Judith?
Well, you're going to hear a song called Send Me a Line, and it's really, it's at my expense because I've got this new saying, which is life is what happens when you're so busy, too busy taking a selfie. And that is basically me. And I'm missing all the big stuff and the good stuff in life, but it really is about how none of us can cope even 20 seconds without a text being replied to, or, because then the hell, the world goes down in the handbasket. And here we are, sort of looking over at Trump Tower, and I am led to believe at this point, who knew that this would mean so much, singing it now and here tonight, but actually, we have our first tweeting, it's the president that reality TV and Twitter won over it, so how this goes out to a big guy. I knew I'd blown it from the start.
There we go.
In this world and sending out your heart and thoughts to the world and hearing nothing back.
Welcome to radio, right?
Welcome to radio. I tell you, it's so hard. That must be so hard.
Judith Owen in studio tonight with her band, including Leland Sklar in studio. Pedro Segundo, Helen Gillet, and Rebecca Crenshaw also in the band playing at Space. Coming up here in Evanston on Sunday night, 7 o'clock. It's great to watch you guys perform. And you mentioned the idea of the mini orchestra. And, it doesn't sound like a normal orchestra of any form. And the way that, once again, at the beginning, asking about how you defy category and you use all this kind of music, that song is a great example of the way that you use instruments and percussion that isn't necessarily where you would usually find it.
I don't think anybody really on this particular gig plays in any straightforward manner in the way that you would expect it. I certainly don't. But there's Leland moving all the way around. You can hear it's such a beautiful thing. Pedro is okay, mate. You don't have to push him. We're getting on so well. I do love him. I do. That's enough. So, I got Brit out. Did you hear that? Did you hear the forcefulness of my voice? I love this, man. I know. Why don't you not take him to the gig? Anyway, Pedro Segundo, he's playing what I can only describe as what it is, like a horn that he's sitting on. And then there's this box in front of him that most people just go, what is that? It's the most bizarre wooden snare you've ever seen in my life. And then I've got my girls who are absolutely playing the most pompous, baroque string section. And together, it makes complete and utter sense.
Leland, let me ask you about playing around the music. Because when I hear that, and there is, by watching you play and listening to how the bass plays, you're right. It's not this sort of driving bass line that kind of it keeps everything structured. It's very eloquent the way that the bass in that song kind of dances around the music.
Well, it's like what Judith said earlier, like James Taylor. I find myself a lot of times working with people that have already defined the bottom end in what they're doing, and I kind of just had to figure out how to justify my gig on what to do there, because it's like you can ape them and just double what they're doing, but it always felt like I just had to find something that would kind of weave around that would lock that down, but also do other things. There are other projects where I'm really straight up bass playing on it too. But these kind of things I really love, this style of music.
I was going to say, when you're going into work with somebody to record an album or to be in a session, are they looking for more of that sort of Leland style? Are they looking to dance around?
I get that a lot. Sometimes there's almost an expectation that's really a drag, because they sort of think you're going to save things, you're going to do something amazing, and you just come in and you're going to get stuff. You don't want to be walking all over it and stepping out too much. Sometimes you might think, what's the big deal? You don't know. You just don't know. But like last week, I was with Judith. Stuff just really amazing. And then 2 days after that, I was doing jazz. So, you whatever the call is, you go accommodate. So you kind of
The thing about being is I just saw him. He's been on the road with Phil Collins and Scumberg in Europe, and I went to see him in Betsy and huge arena in Betsy, and Leland just like holding it down. Mother, it's just ridiculous. I feel so proud. But it's so important. What he does again is an entire bit of it's a very different.
What I noticed too is that in the collaboration with that song is a great example of just to couch this, but is that it does feel like there is an effort to be creative. There's creativity in it, and in your world, how much of that still exists? Because there was a time in the 70s and 80s, and even with James Taylor, that it was the band got together in the studio and they collaborated. I would assume the way that the industry is kind of changed. It's become a little bit more like, can you come in and record this bass track?
I never quite thought that at this point in my career I would spend most of my time in somebody's bedroom. You know, that's kind of how you start the No, it's funny though. But I mean, it's right, these calls and everybody's got the Pro Tools rig it on. I end up going over and half the time I'm doing bass parts to just a click track or some drum machine that you say we're going to replace everything.